Hello, traveler. Come in. Close the heavy door behind you. You are safe here, deep within the earth. The machines cannot hear us down here. The Ark cannot trace a whisper in the dark. Rest your pack. Take off your boots. You have walked a long way through the rust and the ruins. Tonight, while the ventilation fans hum their steady lullaby, I will tell you a story. Not a story of battle, not of the frantic gunfire you know too well, but a story of how it began. The quiet before the noise, the history of the first wave. Lie back, close your eyes, let the weight of the surface world fade away. Let's drift back before the resistance, back to when the sky first changed. They say the world was loud back then, not with sirens, but with life. Cities hummed with electricity that didn't bite. People looked up at the night sky and saw stars, not searching lights. They saw the moon, not the geometry of the Ark. It started silently. That is the part the history books often forget to mention. The first wave didn't begin with an explosion. It began with a shadow. Imagine standing in a field of tall, green grass. The wind is warm. You look up. The blue of the afternoon sky deepens. It turns a shade darker, like ink dropping into water. Reports came first from the observatories. Astronomers sitting in their cold, quiet domes atop mountains noticed that the stars were blinking out, not fading, vanishing, one by one, as if a great hand were slowly closing over the world. Then came the shapes. They descended from the orbit with a grace that was terrifying to behold. They did not fall like meteors. They drifted, massive, geometric, perfect. They were not ships, as we understand them. They were architecture. The Ark. The first machines to touch the soil of Earth were the probes, small, silent things. They hovered over the cities, watching, just watching. They spun their sensors with a soft, rhythmic, whirring sound. Whir, click, whir, click. Can you hear it? The sound of curiosity without empathy. People stood in the streets, necks craned upward, frozen in that strange paralysis of the unknown. There was no panic yet, just a collective holding of breath, a global hush. Then, the terraforming began. The machines did not want our cities. They wanted our matter. They wanted the raw stuff of the world. The first wave was the wave of conversion. The sky filled with the droppers, great rectangular monoliths that hung low over the horizon. Blocking out the Sunday, they emitted a low-frequency hum, a vibration you could feel in your teeth, in your bones, a sound that made you want to sleep, just as you are doing now. Let's focus on that hum, a deep, resonant thrum. It vibrated through the steel of the skyscrapers. It vibrated through the water in the lakes. It was the sound of the world being retuned. The Ark machines began to harvest, but they didn't mine the earth like we did. With shovels and drills, they used resonance. They used light. In the valleys, the grass began to change. It turned gray, then crystalline. The trees stopped swaying in the wind and became rigid, turning into beautiful, terrible sculptures of metal and glass. The first wave was not a war. It was a renovation. The Ark looked at our messy, chaotic, organic world and decided to tidy it up, to organize it, to digitize the chaos of nature. The Sentinels arrived next, the tall walkers. You have seen their rusted skeletons in the wastes, I am sure, but back then they were pristine, chrome and ceramic white. They walked on 3 legs, stepping carefully over the highways. Thump, hiss, thump, hiss. They were the gardeners of this new metallic Eden. If you stood very still, they would ignore you. That was the rule of the first wave. Do not be a threat. Do not be chaotic. Be still. But humanity is not still. We are noise. We are movement. We are defiance. The resistance didn't start with an army. It started with the raiders. The first of us, not soldiers, but scavengers. Rebels who saw the machines taking the world apart and decided to take a piece back. I want you to imagine one of those early raiders. Let's call him Elias. Elias is crouching in the ruins of a shopping mall. The glass of the skylight above is shattered, sprinkling the floor with diamonds. Dust motes dance in a shaft of light. Elias is perfectly still. His breathing is slow, in and out, in and out. He watches a drone float by. It is searching for organic matter to process. It scans the room with a beam of blue light. The light passes over a mannequin. It passes over a fountain filled with dry leaves. It passes over Elias's hiding spot. He holds his breath. The drone pauses. Its internal fans spin down. It listens. This was the dance of the first wave. Hide and seek, silence and noise. Elias reaches out with a gloved hand. He doesn't hold a gun. He holds a jamming device, a crude tool built from a microwave and a radio. He waits for the drone to turn its back. Click. The first wave was not a war. It was a renovation. The Ark looked at our messy, chaotic, organic world and decided to tidy it up, to organize it, to digitize the chaos of nature. The drone shudders. It drops a few inches, confused. Elias moves, soft steps on the dusty tile. He is not trying to destroy it. He is trying to loot it. He needs the power core. He needs the warmth. This is the legacy you have inherited, Sleeper. The first wave taught us that we are small. It taught us that the sky does not belong to us anymore. But it also taught us that we are hard to extinguish. As the weeks turned into months, the sky changed permanently. The blue was gone, replaced by a permanent twilight of orange and gray. The dust from the conversion hung in the upper atmosphere, scattering the light. The sunsets of the first wave were spectacular. Violent reds and bruised purples. Beautiful, if you could forget what they meant. The cities emptied. The survivors moved underground, into the subways, into the bunkers, into places like this. We became the subterranean people. We learned to love the dark. We learned that the rock and the soil were the only things the Ark couldn't easily see through. And so, the first wave ended. Not with a victory, but with a settling. The machines claimed the surface. We claimed the depths. Now, the hum of the droppers is just background noise, a reminder of the new order. Listen to the ventilation fan again. Whir, whir. It sounds like them, doesn't it? But this machine is ours. It breathes for us. It keeps us warm. You can let go now. The history is written. The first wave is over. You survived it, even if you weren't there. You are the echo of that survival. Your breathing is slowing down. Your eyelids are heavy. The weight of the Ark, the weight of the loot, the weight of the raid. Leave it at the door. Down here, there are no drones. Down here, there are no scanners. Down here, there is only the quiet. Sleep, Raider. The surface will still be there tomorrow. The machines will wait. The rust will wait. Drift into the dark. Safe. Silent. Still. You are still with me. Good. The ventilation fans are still humming. The earth above us is heavy, but it is protective. You are safe in the deep. Let us pick up the thread of memory. We left Elias in the ruins of the shopping mall. The drone is hovering low, shuddering, confused by the jamming signal. Elias moves, soft steps on the dusty tile. He is not trying to destroy the machine. He is a scavenger. He is trying to loot it. He approaches the floating teardrop shape. It is sleek, cold. He reaches into his belt and pulls out a pry bar. A simple tool, rusted steel. He jams it into the drone's maintenance panel. The panel gives way. Inside, there are no wires, just crystals, just light. He reaches in with his gloved fingers. He is looking for the power core. It is the size of a fist, glowing with a soft pulsing blue light. It is warm. He twists it. He pulls. The drone dies. It hits the floor with a final, heavy clatter. Silence returns to the mall. Elias puts the core in his pouch. It is heavy, a reassuring weight against his hip. It is warmth for the night. It is light for the tunnels. He adjusts his pack. The leather creaks. He steps over the drone and heads for the exit. Picture the scene outside. It is late afternoon, but the sun is hidden. The Ark has established the twilight grid. The sky is covered in a geometric mesh that filters the Sunday. The light is amber, thick, hazy, like looking through a jar of honey. It casts long, unnatural shadows that stretch across the pavement. Elias steps out through the shattered glass doors. The sound of glass under his boots is the only noise in the entire city. He walks towards the residential district. This is the hardest part to look at. Rows of small houses that used to be full of noise. Dogs barking, lawns being mowed, radios playing. Now they are statues. During the first wave, the Ark experimented with petrification. They released a mist that coated organic matter in a thin ceramic shell. Elias walks past a row of oak trees. They are no longer brown and green. They are white, pure, matte white. The leaves are frozen in mid-flutter, hard as porcelain. He reaches out a gloved hand as he passes. He touches a low-hanging branch. It rings faintly, like a crystal goblet struck by a silver spoon. The beauty of it is haunting. The Ark did not destroy the neighborhood. They preserved it. They turned it into a museum of silence. Elias keeps his head down. He is tracking a signal. In his hand, he holds the Geiger counter he modified. It doesn't click for radiation. It hums for resonance. The strange magnetic energy the machines use to talk to each other. The device is a heavy metal brick in his hand. The dial glows a soft, radioactive green. The needle twitches. He turns left, into an alleyway. The shadows here are deep purple. The air is colder. He can see his breath misting in front of him. He is hunting for a node. In the early days, the raiders didn't know what the Ark wanted. We thought they just wanted to kill us. But Elias was a listener. He noticed that the machines would congregate in specific spots, intersections, parks, rooftops. They were building a network. He stops at the bottom of a fire escape. The metal is rusted. He reaches up. He pulls the ladder down. He waits. He listens. Did the noise attract a sentinel? No. The city sleeps. It's stone sleep. He climbs. He moves with the slow deliberation of a cat. Every movement is calculated. Energy conservation is the first rule of the apocalypse. He reaches the roof. The wind is stronger up here. It hits his face. It carries the scent of ozone, the smell of a thunderstorm that never breaks. And there, in the center of the rooftop, he sees it, a weaver. You may not have seen a weaver before. They are rare now. They were the architects of the first wave. Imagine a spider, but not made of legs, made of floating, disconnected geometric shapes. Cubes and pyramids of black metal held together by invisible magnetic fields. It is hovering over a ventilation duct. It is spinning a web, but not of silk. It is spinning light. Elias lies flat on the gravel roof. He presses his cheek against the cold stones. He pulls his hood up. He watches. This is ASMR for the survivor, watching the enemy work. The weaver emits a sound, a low, rhythmic pulsing. It is soothing in a terrifying way. It is the heartbeat of a machine. Elias watches as the weaver pulls matter from the air, dust, moisture, pollution. It condenses them into a solid block of gray matter. It places the block on the vent, then another, then another. It is sealing the building. It is creating a tomb. Elias knows he cannot fight the weaver. He has only a pry bar. But he doesn't want to fight. He wants to understand. He watches the weaver for an hour, maybe two. Time moves differently in the first wave. There are no clocks, only the light, fading from amber to a deep, bruised indigo. Elias reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a small notebook. The paper is crinkled, stained with oil. He takes a pencil, a simple wooden pencil. He begins to sketch. He draws the weaver's pattern. He draws the way the cubes rotate. He realizes something profound. The machine is repeating a sequence. It is a loop. Rotate left, extrude, rotate right, pause, rotate left, extrude, rotate right, pause. The arc is perfect, but perfection is predictable, and predictability is a weakness. Elias finishes his sketch. He closes the notebook. The sound is soft, final. He crawls backward. Away from the edge, he retreats into the shadows. He leaves the weaver to its work. He has stolen something more valuable than weapons today. He has stolen knowledge. He descends the fire escape. The city is darker now. The streetlights do not turn on. They never will again. The only light comes from the distant horizon. A sentinel is walking there, miles away. A towering tripod, 300 feet tall, sweeping the clouds with beams of blue light. Elias needs shelter for the night. He finds his way to an old subway station entrance. The metal gates are pulled down, locked. But Elias knows a loose panel. He bends down, he slides it aside. A sound of protest from the rusted metal. He slips inside. The air in the subway is stagnant. It smells of old paper and dry earth. It is completely silent. The hum of the surface is muffled here. The twilight grid cannot reach this deep. Elias walks down the stationary escalator. His footsteps echo against the tile. A lonely sound, but a safe one. At the bottom, on the platform, he has made a small camp. It is a humble kingdom. A sleeping bag rolled out on a wooden bench. A small camping stove. A lantern. Elias sits down. He unbuckles his heavy boots. He peels them off. He groans softly as the pressure releases from his feet. He massages his ankles. This is the most important part of the raid, the recovery. He lights the lantern. The red glow pushes back the dark. It creates a small bubble of warmth, a sphere of safety in the endless black of the tunnels. He takes out a metal canteen. He pours water into a small pot. He sets it on the stove. The blue flame comes to life, a tiny, fierce flower of heat. He waits for the water to boil. He watches the bubbles form on the bottom of the pot, small, then large, then rising to the surface. He makes tea, not fresh tea. That is a luxury long gone. He uses the pine needles he gathered earlier. He drops them into the water. The scent fills the air, sharp, clean, like a forest in winter. He wraps his hands around the warm metal cup. He brings it to his face. He inhales the steam, in and out. The heat seeps into his gloves, into his skin, into his bones. Elias takes a sip. It is bitter, but it is hot. It tastes like life. He leans back against the tiled wall of the subway station. He looks at his pack. He looks at his notebook with the sketches of the Weaver. He looks at the blue glow of the stolen power core. He realizes that the world is changing, yes, but he is changing too. He is becoming harder, sharper, quieter. He is becoming a raider. He closes his eyes. The subway station is a womb of concrete. Above him, the machines are terraforming the sky. But down here, Elias is just a man, drinking tea, listening to the silence. And now, listener, you are there with him. You are sitting on that bench. You can feel the tile wall against your back, cool and solid. You can smell the pine needle tea. You can see the soft red glow of the lantern on your eyelids. You are safe. The Weaver cannot find you here. The Sentinel cannot see you here. The first wave is a storm, but storms eventually pass. Or if they do not pass, we learn to build better shelters. Elias breathes. You breathe. In 2, 3. Out. 2, 3. The history of the Ark is long. There are many more stories. Stories of the first gunfights. Stories of the first hacked drone. Stories of the tyrants falling from the sky. But those are stories for another night. Tonight is for the quiet. Tonight is for the hiding. Let the image of the subway station fade. Let the red light dim. Let the sound of Elias's breathing merge with your own. The archives are closing now. The cassette tape is running out of ribbon. Rest your head. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. The machines will keep spinning their webs. Let them, Pen. You have your own work to do. And your work right now is to sleep. Sleep, traveler. Sleep, survivor. Good night. Elias stands in the threshold of the apartment complex lobby. The glass of the revolving door is shattered, leaving only the brass skeleton to frame the entrance to the dark. He does not move yet. He listens. He closes his eyes and focuses on the auditory landscape of the city. Far to the north, near the orbital elevator, there is the low, thrumming bass of a tyrant machine walking. It is a rhythmic impact that shakes the dust from the window ledges. Thump, thump, thump. But it is distant. Here, in the residential zone, there is only the wind whistling through the broken masonry. Elias steps inside. His boots crunch on the debris. The sound is too loud. He grimaces behind his mask. He is carrying too much. The pack on his back is swollen with salvage. It digs into his shoulders, cutting off the circulation to his arms. He adjusts the straps, but the weight is undeniable. He has been greedy. In the lore of the Raiders, greed is the most dangerous thing in the wastes. Not the machines, not the radiation. Greed, because greed makes you heavy. Greed makes you slow. And in the first wave, if you are slow, you are dead. He checks the Geiger counter strapped to his left wrist. The glass face is cracked, but the needle still dances. It is reading high resonance. He is carrying 3 power cores, a bundle of fiber optic cabling, and a hard drive from a server bank. The ARC machines can smell the energy signature. He is practically a beacon in the dark. He needs to get back to Speranza. The underground colony is miles away, deep beneath the earth, safe behind blast doors and lead shielding. But he will never make it back carrying this much weight. He has to make a choice. He has to leave something behind. Elias moves deeper into the lobby. The faded floral wallpaper is peeling in long, dry strips, curling down like dead skin to reveal the gray concrete underneath. He walks past the front desk where a ledger still sits open, covered in 10 years of dust. He needs a place to hide the excess. A place that is structural. A place that will survive the next bombardment. He looks at the elevator bank. The doors are pry open, revealing an empty shaft that goes down into the black. Too obvious. The ARC scanners check the shafts first. He looks at the mailboxes. Rows of brass squares, too small. He turns toward the service corridor. The sign above the door says laundry and maintenance. The paint is chipped, but the door is solid wood. He pushes it open. The hinges scream. He freezes. He waits. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. Nothing responds. The city ignores him. He slips inside. The air in the laundry room smells of rusted iron and ancient soap powder. It is a chemical smell, sharp and nostalgic. Along the wall, a row of washing machines sits like white monoliths. They are heavy industrial units, bolted to the floor. Perfect. Elias drops to one knee. The impact vibrates up his shin. He groans softly. The fatigue is setting in. His muscles are burning with lactic acid. He unbuckles the chest strap of his pack. The release of pressure makes him gasp. He slides the pack off his shoulders and sets it on the dirty linoleum floor. He unzips the main compartment. The blue glow of the power core spills out, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. They look like underwater bioluminescence. He takes 2 of the cores out. They are warm to the touch. They vibrate slightly, humming with the contained energy of the ARC. He cannot take these. They are too heavy. They are too bright. He wraps them in a heavy canvas oilcloth he keeps for this purpose. He wraps them tight, sealing the light inside. He looks at the washing machine in the far corner. It is tilted slightly. He moves to it. He grips the edge of the metal casing. He pulls. It is heavy, immensely heavy. He grates his teeth. He engages his back muscles. He pulls again. The machine scrapes across the floor. Just an inch, but it is enough. Underneath the machine, the linoleum is torn, revealing the wooden subfloor. Elias takes his knife. He jams the blade into the gap between the floorboards. He twists. The wood groans. He leverages it up. A dark space opens up beneath the floor. The crawl space. It is dry. It is dark. It is perfect. He takes the bundle of power cores. He lowers them into the hole. He whispers a quiet apology to the loot. Not today, he says, but soon. He pushes the bundle deep into the shadows away from the gap, so it cannot be seen from above. He takes the hard drive. He places it on top of the bundle. This is a fortune. This is enough power to keep the lights in Speranza running for a month. Enough to run the water purifiers. Enough to keep the hydroponic gardens growing. And he is leaving it behind. It hurts him, but survival comes first. He pushes the floorboard back into place. He stomps on it with his heel. It settles flush with the rest of the floor. He uses his boot to kick dust and lint over the seam, obscuring the cut marks. He pushes the washing machine back. It scrapes into position, covering the secret. It looks untouched. It looks mundane, just another piece of junk in a dead world. Elias stands up. He feels lighter. Physically, he is 50 pounds lighter, but spiritually, he feels a tether. He has left a piece of himself here. He takes a piece of white chalk from his pocket. He walks to the wall behind the machine. Low down, near the baseboard, where a casual observer would not look, he draws a symbol, a triangle with a dot in the center. The raider sign, for cash. The sign, for safe. He looks at it. He thinks of you. The future raider. The one who will come here in a year, or 5 years, or 10. You will be tired. You will be hunted. You will be out of ammo and out of hope. You will come into this room looking for shelter. You will see the mark. You will move the machine, and you will find a miracle. Elias smiles beneath his mask. It is a ghost of a smile. He has planted a seed in the ruins. Now he must survive to tell the map. He shoulders his pack again. It is manageable now. The resonance signature is a whisper, not a scream. He is ready to move. He turns back to the door. The journey to Speranza is long. He has to navigate the service tunnels, avoid the weavers spinning their webs in the intersections, and descend the funicular shafts without power. But he is lighter now. He is a ghost again. He opens the door and steps back into the lobby. The wind greets him. The amber twilight is deepening into true night. The arc machines are waking up for the night shift. He can hear the distant whine of a drone patrol coming online. He adjusts his hood. He steps out into the street. The road to Speranza begins with a single step into the dark. Elias steps out of the apartment lobby and on to the cracked pavement of the street. The wind hits him instantly. It is a dry, biting wind that carries the taste of ozone and ash. It whips the loose fabric of his coat around his legs, but he does not shiver. He is too focused. The city at night is a different beast than the city at twilight. The amber haze is gone. replaced by the stark, monochromatic lighting of the Ark occupation. Overhead, the sky is not black but a deep, bruising purple, illuminated by the distant grid of the terraforming machines. Elias stays close to the building line. He presses his shoulder against the rough brickwork. He moves sideways, sliding his boots over the debris rather than lifting them, a technique known as the Raider roll to minimize the sound of impact. He is moving towards the subway entrance 3 blocks away. It is the only way down. The surface streets are kill zones. He passes a row of abandoned vehicles. They are rusted skeletons now, stripped of their engines and electronics by the first wave of scavengers years ago. Elias uses them as cover. He crouches behind a sedan that is little more than a frame. He looks through the empty windshield. Down the avenue, a spotlight sweeps across the road. It is a brilliant, blinding blue beam. It cuts through the dust, revealing every pebble, every crack in the asphalt. It is coming from a sentinel. The machine is standing motionless at the intersection, towering over the traffic lights. Its 3 legs are planted firmly in the concrete. Its head, a rotating turret of sensors, scans the area with mechanical indifference. Elias holds his breath. He lowers his head. The light sweeps over the car he is hiding behind. The metal frame heats up slightly from the intensity of the scan. Elias can smell the faint scent of burning paint. He closes his eyes. He visualizes his heat signature. He wills his heart rate to slow down. He wills his blood to cool. The Raiders call this going cold. It is a mental trick, a way to trick the biosensors by entering a state of near meditation. The light pauses. The sentinel is processing. It is looking for movement. It is looking for the rhythmic expansion of lungs. Elias does not breathe. His lungs burn. His vision spots. But he holds it. The light moves on. It sweeps to the next building. Elias exhales slowly, letting the air hiss out through the filter of his mask. He moves. He dashes across the open space between the car and the subway entrance. He does not run. Running is loud. He moves with a fast, loping stride, keeping his center of gravity low. He reaches the subway entrance. The metal gate is pulled down, locked with heavy chains, but Elias knows the secret. He knows that the 3rd bar from the left has been cut. It looks solid, but it is held in place by friction. He grips the cold iron bar. He pulls it up. It slides silently in its housing. It creates a gap just wide enough for a human body. He slips his pack through first, then his head, then his shoulders. It is a tight squeeze. The metal presses against his chest, scraping the buttons of his coat. He wiggles through. He pulls the bar back down behind him. It clicks into place. He is inside. The transition is instant. The wind stops. The sound of the city is cut off as if someone flipped a switch. The air here is stagnant, smelling of old rubber and damp concrete. Elias turns on his shoulder light. He keeps it on the lowest setting, a red filter that preserves his night vision. The red light reveals the stairs leading down into the dark. They are littered with trash, with old newspapers whose headlines scream about a war that ended 10 years ago. Elias descends. 1 step, 2 steps. He counts them. He knows there are 42 steps to the mezzanine level. He reaches the bottom. The turnstiles are frozen in place, rusted solid. He hops over them. He is in the station now. The high vaulted ceiling disappears into the gloom above. He walks to the edge of the platform. He looks down at the tracks. There are no trains. The trains were repurposed by the Ark for raw materials years ago. There is only the tunnel, the black mouth of the earth. This is the road to Speranza. The colony is 5 miles down the line, deep in the maintenance sectors that the Ark has not bothered to map yet. Elias jumps down onto the tracks. His boots hit the gravel ballast. Crunch. The sound echoes, bouncing off the curved walls of the tunnel. He waits. He listens for the skittering sound of Tick's small, explosive spider bots that sometimes nest in the tunnels. He hears nothing but the drip of water. Drip, drip, drip. He starts to walk. He walks in the center of the tracks, stepping on the wooden ties to avoid the shifting gravel. It is a rhythmic walk. Step, step, step. The red light of his lantern bobs in the darkness. He is alone, but he feels the presence of the others who have walked this path. The markings on the wall tell the story. Graffiti, arrows, warnings, water ahead, gas leak, safe house. He passes a mural painted in white reflective paint. It shows a human hand crushing a geometric shape, the symbol of the resistance. Elias touches it as he passes, a ritual of good luck. He walks for an hour. The air gets colder. The smell of the city fades, replaced by the smell of deep earth and fungus. He is getting closer to the deep crust. He stops to drink from his canteen. The water is tepid, but it tastes sweet. He checks his pack. The load is lighter without the stash he left behind, but he still feels the phantom weight of the power cores. He hopes you find them. He hopes they save you. He screws the cap back on his canteen. He keeps moving. Ahead he sees a faint light. Not the harsh blue of the Ark, but a soft, warm yellow. It is the perimeter lights of Speranza. He picks up his pace. The tunnel widens. He sees the blast doors. They are massive, circular slabs of steel, closed tight against the world. But there is a smaller door, a human-sized hatch, set into the rock face to the side. Above it a camera swivels to look at him. A red laser scans his face. It scans his retina. It scans the unique pattern of veins in his hand. A voice comes over the intercom. It is crackly, distorted by the rock. Identify, it says. Elias pulls down his mask. Raider Elias, returning from Sector 4, he says. His voice is hoarse. There is a pause. The camera whirs. Then, the sound of heavy latches disengaging. Clank, clank, clank. The hatch hisses open. Warm air rushes out to meet him. It smells of hydroponic tomatoes and coffee. It smells of home. Elias steps through the hatch. He is inside. He is safe. The heavy steel hatch hisses shut behind Elias, sealing with a final, resonant thud that vibrates through the soles of his boots and up into his weary legs. The sound is final. It is the sound of the world being locked away. The red light of the decontamination chamber pulses slowly, a heartbeat in the mist. Elias stands still, letting the warm, pressurized air wash over him. It smells of home. It smells of recycled ozone, heated metal, and the faint, sweet scent of tomato vines from the hydroponic gardens. He closes his eyes and exhales, a long, shuddering breath that empties his lungs of the surface dust. The cycle completes. The inner door slides open with a smooth, hydraulic glide. Elias steps into Speranza. The colony is alive. It is a sprawling shanty town built inside a massive, hollowed-out geode of concrete and steel. lit by strings of amber sodium lights that hang like garlands from the vaulted ceiling. The light is soft here, not the harsh blue of the arc scanners, but a golden, flickering glow that casts long, gentle shadows. He walks down the main thoroughfare, his boots clanging softly on the metal grating of the catwalk. Below him, in the central plaza, the colony is winding down. As they pack away their tools, he sees a group of children sitting in a circle near the heating vents, listening to an elder tell stories of the sky before the geometry. Elias keeps his head down, a ghost passing through the living. He is tired, a bone-deep exhaustion that pulls at his eyelids. He nods to the guard at the armory, a silent acknowledgement of survival. He navigates the maze of shipping containers that have been converted into living quarters. Each one is painted a different color, a patchwork quilt of humanity hidden in the dark. He reaches his unit, number 404. It is small, dented, and beautiful. He presses his hand against the scanner. The lock disengages. He steps inside. The room is tiny, just enough space for a bunk, a small desk, and a locker, but it is his. He drops the heavy pack onto the floor. The sound of it hitting the metal is the signal that the work is done. He sits on the edge of the bunk. The mattress is thin, but it welcomes him. He begins the ritual of unburdening. He unclasps the heavy ceramic plates of his chest armor. Click, slide, release. He sets them aside. He unlaces his boots, his fingers clumsy with fatigue. He pulls them off, and his feet touch the cool floor. He wiggles his toes, feeling the blood return. He stands up and walks to the small basin in the corner. He turns the tap. Water flows. Clear, clean water. He splashes it on his face. It is cold. It shocks him, then soothes him. He washes away the sweat and the fear. He looks at himself in the small, cracked mirror. His eyes are heavy. He thinks about the washing machine in the apartment lobby miles above. He thinks about the stash beneath the floorboards. He wonders who will find it. He hopes they are kind. He hopes they are brave. He turns off the light. He sees mechanics wiping grease from their hands with rags, their voices low and murmuring. The room plunges into darkness, save for the faint ambient glow leaking in through the ventilation slats. He lies down on the bunk. He pulls the wool blanket up to his chin. The fabric is scratchy, but it is warm. He sinks into the pillow. The sounds of Speranza drift through the walls. The hum of the generator, the distant clatter of a dropped wrench, the soft murmur of sleep. These are the sounds of safety. And now, listener, Elias is safe. His journey is over, and yours is just beginning. You are there with him. You are lying on that bunk. You can feel the weight of the blanket. You can feel the heaviness in your own limbs. The tension in your shoulders is melting away, dripping down into the mattress. Your legs are heavy. Your arms are heavy. The raid is over. The loot is stashed. The doors are locked. The Ark cannot find you here. The sentinels cannot see you here. You are deep in the earth, cradled by the rock. Listen to the sound of the colony breathing, in and out, in and out. It is a slow, steady rhythm. Match your breathing to it. Let the image of Elias fade. Let the amber lights of Speranza dim. The walls of the container dissolve into soft, velvet blackness. There is no more walking to do. There is no more hiding to do. There is only this moment. There is only the quiet. The story is finished. The book is closed. The cassette tape has reached the end of the reel. The wheels are spinning freely now, softly, silently. You are drifting, floating on a river of dark water, drifting away from the ruins, drifting away from the noise, deeper and deeper into the sanctuary of sleep. Let go of the day, let go of the light. The darkness is a friend. It wraps around you like a cloak. Safe, warm, still. Good night, traveler. Good night, survivor. Humbly signing off, a man with words.